May I please request Mr. John Laxon and Mrs. Kriti Sanon to launch the third season of the New Zealand Excellence Awards and the New Zealand Taught Masters.
This is our ginormous poster.
Thank you.
I think we're, yes.
Firstly, thank you so much for being here actually despite the Mumbai rains today. I myself have traveled from Andheri considering there's a bridge that fell there. But it's really nice to be back for New Zealand education and that too this time in a college where I've actually shot like a couple of TV commercials. So I have like memories with this college. But it's really nice always to be back with students. I think it kind of takes me back to my college days and the time when I was studying. As she mentioned that I'm an engineer. So education has always been a very important part of my growing up years and of my life, I feel. And it's nice to be here and be sort of a catalyst you know, to help all of you, the youth of today's country, to sort of shape up their careers and their futures, and be here as the brand ambassador for New Zealand education. So thank you so much for being here with me despite the rains.
Two initiatives today, New Zealand Excellence Awards. So for our third season running, we are offering a dedicated scholarship to 4 Indian students who would like to select a New Zealand university for their either undergraduate or, in many cases in this room, postgraduate, with 34 partial scholarships for a variety of STEM, science, technology, education, engineering, mathematics and other subjects to study at the total and funding available. So applications are officially, as of now, open. So you are the first ones to be able to apply, and we'll be continuing through to the 30th of October for applications for the Semester 1 2019 intake. So please do go ahead and apply. They are great scholarships. You'll be hearing about what programs. Our website has been launched today specifically for Indian students who are thinking about a postgrad growth whilst you're studying and after your studies for up to 3 years. Course of the master's degree program, both accelerated and extended program options depending on your career path, so tailored to the speed at which you want to progress through a master's program, and also, as we mentioned, universities that are ranked in the top 3% worldwide.
All of us have really nice memories of college. So is there something special you have?
I think college years, I would definitely say, are the best years of your life, and they do not come back. So actually make the most of this. I really feel that my college years, although I was kind of a nerdy student who used to like really, I mean, I was not a front bencher purely because I'm tall, so I had to sit at the back. But otherwise, I was really into studies. And I was someone who, I guess, you know, really wanted to do my best, whatever I put in, you know, whatever I went for. So I've always been like that, and I think education has really groomed my personality. I think today, even though I'm in films and I'm acting, it's got nothing to do with actually what I studied, but I really feel that as a person, I've become a lot more confident, a lot more aware, a lot more, you know, able to sort of make decisions in my life because I've gone through a process of educating myself. I've gone through, engineering can be really, you know, grilling. Like you have like exams 3 times in 4 months, which is insane. And you really have to be able to take pressure, you have to be able to make decisions in your life. You have to have a sense of awareness, not only around you but also what's happening in the world. You know, especially in the fields that you're going for. So I think college years have been very important. Of course, coming to this particular college, as I said, I have shot a few ads here, so it takes me back to even my modeling days and stuff, where I've shot ads in this very compound here. And it's always great to be interacting with students, I think, you know, no matter what happens, that college life and that sort of fire that you have when you're in college, it doesn't change. And it does get me back to my days when I used to like even participate in like in my college dance troupe and go to like different colleges and have like competitions and stuff and come back winning and feel good about it. So yeah, it's great being here, especially for a cause, something that I totally believe in, which is education in New Zealand.
Great. I think that's really nice to revisit.
You may be looking at a career in engineering, some field of engineering, but actually you've got a creative streak. You know, you like writing stories, you like history, you like politics, and the way the New Zealand university and indeed the school curriculum is designed is that you can combine those various elements into one degree, whether it's a double major or a major and a minor. There's a huge amount of
spoke to them about the education in New Zealand. I think this is something that sort of really attracted me towards it, because I remember in my school or college, you know, when you're asked to choose subjects, I'm like, I want to study computer science, but I also want to know what happens in psychology, you know, I also want to do my dancing. So I feel like you don't have as many options at times to choose variety of subjects which are maybe not linked to each other. So I think, you know, not all of us know exactly what we want to do in our lives or exactly what we want to be, you know, eventually. And we want to explore, we want to see what we like as a subject, we want to know what our interest is in. And I think it's fab that we have like such a huge variety, and where you can take your major as engineering and maybe you know, dancing or any performing arts as your minor, which is amazing. I wish I had that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, with that, maybe you would have done a dance here for us. I think that's really useful, and to just get those perspective where you can study various types of courses and be sort of future ready. And with that, I think having Rishabh Shah with us, who is a New Zealand Excellence Award past scholar with us today, to just elaborate. Rishabh, what was the difference that you felt when you reached a New Zealand campus? Like, how was it different from your education that you got here in India and when you reached Canterbury University?
Oh, the difference is important, and basically it's an applied learning approach that you get to experience over there. And apart from that, you have critical thinking that comes into your picture when you start studying in New Zealand. And there is also a strong collaboration of industry and education. So you have industrial experts coming in and teaching you, which basically keeps your system top notch.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, that just makes students quite future ready, because you are actually having that industry exposure, and yeah, I think that's a great way to educate the future who will be running the world tomorrow. Yeah, and with that, Kriti, on your future, like you studied an engineering degree and then moved to films, which is a very, very different career, and there might be students here who want to go to New Zealand, do those two majors where they get acting or performing arts along with a science degree. And if they were to transition, how would they transition from science nerdy to a film actress, a successful film actress? So how was that transition?
I think it's not about, I never planned it like this. Like, I never thought, oh, I'm going to do BTech and then I'll become an actress. It's never like that. I think it's always, you know, you discover what you want to do. And when I was in school, I remember being someone who was very studious, and I liked science. Well, my mom's a physics lecturer, so it kind of relates to that. I wanted to take up science. I didn't know, okay, I said, I like computer science, so maybe let me become a software engineer. I had no idea what a software engineer does. Then eventually I ended up doing electronics and communication, which I liked while I was doing, at least the communication part of the BTech. But I still didn't know what eventually I'm going to end up doing, you know, as a daily job, as you know, my career. I didn't know what I would enjoy. And that's when sort of modeling happened, and I discovered while doing TV commercials that I could act, which is something that I'd never tried on, you know. Like I said, you have like very limited things that you're doing in your school college life because you have those many limited subjects to choose from, and you never try to explore in different directions to figure out what you like and what your passion lies in and what would you be really happy doing the rest of your life. So when I realized that I could act is when I had you know, my mind on it, and I was like, this is what I want to do, and I want to eventually move to Mumbai and try for films. But at the same time, I wanted to complete my BTech. I didn't want to leave it half done because I really feel that it's very, very important to have an educational degree. I always say that there is a difference between being passionate and being desperate. And when you're in an industry like this, which is so competitive and there's so many people out there, I didn't want to be someone who doesn't have anything to fall back on or any sort of, you know, a backbone that keeps me strong. I was passionate about what I really wanted to do, but I knew that that's not the only thing I can do. I can do much more. I am an engineer and I can always do other things. So let me just put my heart and soul in what I really want to do, but not get desperate and, you know, make wrong decisions in life. That's how it's happened for me, but I really feel that in general, I really want to advise all of you to never stop exploring, to never stop figuring out what you really like and what you really want to, you know, eventually do in life. Choose a variety of subjects that interest you in general as a person, and you might find what your actual dream is. So I think that is something that I really admire about New Zealand and their structure of education, because it gives you that room to choose what you really, you know, feel like exploring. I think, you know, it's one life and it's mostly so many years that you want to sort of educate yourself. It's obviously a constant learning throughout life, but yeah, I think just go out and explore is what I would say.
Yeah, so I think from an engineer to an actress, and just an hour back you were a journalist interviewing Rishabh. So lots of different roles, and Rishabh being an Excellence Awards winner, and John, you just announced the 3rd season of Excellence Awards. So that's a massive commitment, like over 1 crore rupees has been put into this 3rd season, which is massive. And also the masters, which have gone live today. So I know you've covered a little bit about it, but would you want to just give out a few sort of key points around how this Excellence Awards has come through, and how you know, a lot of Indian students have already found value in it, like Rishabh.
We have a live example.
Yes,
here.
exactly. Lots of his colleagues, and how these students can now go in for masters, the specializations that are offered with the various you know, different subjects to choose from, and also tap into the funding opportunity through the Excellence Award. So that will be really good for these students, considering we are launching it here at their campus today.
Yes, yes, certainly. So in terms of the New Zealand Excellence Awards, this is a partnership between the New Zealand government through Education New Zealand and our 8 universities. So each of our 8 universities is committed to co-fund partial scholarships just dedicated towards Indian students. And what that reflects is 2 things. One is the growing demand for a New Zealand university education from our Indian students. We've seen a 20% increase just in 2017 alone of the numbers of Indians.
The students future ready. So yeah, I think safety, the variety of courses, the cultures, and having the opportunity to interact with, you know, different cultures and different kind of people, which makes you ready for a global for global opportunities, for not only having opportunities here, but also knowing what's going on everywhere else, and being ready for all kind of technologies coming in, all kinds of things happening in the world.
Just on that, John, would you like to talk a little bit about the student experience and the emphasis that Education New Zealand puts on the student experience, like when a student from India or wherever in the world goes to New Zealand, there is one part of it around studying at a campus and getting imparted that education, but also the overall student experience and the emphasis that we put into that there is like a really positive experience that a student has. And I understand like Education New Zealand, like my organization, all has a team working on that particular part of the work.
Yes, well, even if I start from when I was a student, straight away when you enroll in the university, you get a whole lot of information about what to expect, what you need to prepare for, right down from finances to clothing to all of those sorts of things, and through to being welcomed at the airport when you arrive if you're an international student. And then there's dedicated orientation weeks, which are a lot of fun before the real study and work starts. I don't know if you'd like to share any stories from orientation weeks?
Oh yeah, the orientation is amazing. You get a hang of the universities over there, the people over there. There are so many student advisors which basically keep you in touch with all these particular activities. Each and everything is so very streamlined that you can easily imbibe in that. That's one of the amazing things that I've experienced.
And I think another point to add is that career and education counsellors and even job centres are all located on campus. So whether you're looking for support to work, options for where to live, or if you want to change where you want to live, financial advice, student support and counselling, all of those things are embedded or available across all of our universities. In fact, many of them are required by law in New Zealand to ensure that students have a positive student experience. So New Zealand was the first country in the world to require, under federal or parliamentary legislation, a code of practice for international students, which meant that anyone enrolling an international student had to provide minimum standards of care to ensure that the student experience was a positive one. Because whether it's a New Zealand student, an international student, we want people to be succeeding in their studies and their lives so that they can go on and have a positive life experience and also be alumni and advocates for the experience they've had. So it's really central to our mission. It's one of the reasons why international education is our fourth largest industry, because there's such a strong focus on it, and it plays such a positive role in enriching New Zealand's culture, because we have students from more than 180 countries contributing their own perspectives, and we have student clubs from all parts of the world at all of our campuses, and they make a great contribution on campus and off campus. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I think, sorry? Yes.
Brings us to the end of today's session.